microelectronic components mounted onto circuit boards.
A high-speed SMT machine places tiny components onto the PCB with incredible accuracy.
How are hundreds of small metal pins made so quickly?
This heavy-duty machine stamps and cuts them out rapidly with extreme precision.
What does the LED bulb assembly process look like in a factory?
The automated production line attaches the bulb covers and then tests their lighting quality in bulk.
How are steel springs made with high precision?
This automated machine bends and cuts metal wire into a perfect spring shape within seconds.
How do you cleanly cut a thick metal pipe?
A high-speed circular saw cuts the pipe into ring sections instantly and smoothly.
How do you quickly apply product labels to hundreds of bottles?
Bottles move along a conveyor, and an automatic labeling machine spins them to apply stickers with precision.
How do you get a perfectly straight cut every time?
By using a high-precision laser guide that shows exactly where the blade will meet the wood.
Can packaging soup bowls be both fast and clean?
Absolutely. This automated machine handles the boxes and packs the bowls efficiently without human touch.
How is a beautiful gold chain made by a machine?
This automatic machine cuts, bends, and links the gold wire into a perfect chain in an instant.
What is happening to that glowing hot piece of metal?
It is being spun and pressed by a rotary forging machine to expand it into a larger industrial ring.
How can raw composite dough turn into a sleek sink?
A powerful hydraulic press uses intense pressure and heat to instantly mold the material into a solid wash basin.
Why is the paint being stirred with a heavy-duty mixer?
To quickly blend the liquid and pigments, ensuring a perfectly smooth and uniform color.
How is that metal loop made so quickly?
This automated machine precisely bends and shapes a flat metal strip into a perfect ring.
How do robots help in modern clothing factories?
Automated robotic arms precisely position the fabric so specialized sewing machines can stitch the garments seamlessly.
What is this machine working on?
This machine is performing automatic chamfering, which cuts and smooths the edges of metal cylinders to remove sharp corners.
How is this chili sauce packed into uniform portions?
The automatic filling machine directly injects the exact amount of sauce liquid into the plastic pouch before sealing it quickly.
What tool is used to engrave the design on this leather wallet?
The design and names are neatly etched, using a high-speed laser engraving machine.
What is the function of this motor-powered machine?
This machine strips the yellow plastic protective coating from wires to extract the pure copper inside for recycling purposes.
is this automated machine making?
This robotic sewing machine is rotating and stitching fabric to shape the front part of a cap with high precision.
How does a machine shape hard steel into a coil spring?
A high-powered tool winds the steel wire with precision, while a special fluid is sprayed to cool down the heat.
How are data sheets label rolls printed and cleanly cut in large quantities?
This automatic die-cutting machine precisely processes the label roll, then cuts and stacks them neatly onto the conveyor table.
What is that machine doing?
The machine is smoothing the inside of a metal tube using a rotating polishing tool that creates sparks.
How do they cut the large chocolate block?
They use a special cutting tool with iron wires to neatly slice the chocolate into small squares.
Is that brush automatically cleaning the grill?
Yes, its rotating bristles quickly scrub away all the burnt residue.
How does the machine shape the dough so fast?
It automatically presses and cuts the dough into perfect crescent shapes.
How can thick metal rods be bent into perfect chain rings?
This high-powered automatic metal forming machine pulls, bends, and cuts iron rods into oval chain links repeatedly at a very fast pace.
What tool is used to slice that processed meat?
That is an automatic cutting machine that slices the processed meat block into small pieces in an instant.
How is that cylindrical wood transformed into a beautiful carving?
The wood is spun on a lathe machine, then scraped with a carving knife to form a neat, wavy pattern.
How do these farmers operate the water pump in the rice field?
They use custom-made giant wheel weights as flywheels to help run the water pump generator efficiently.
What is this machine carving out of the wood?
It is precisely cutting out a perfectly smooth wooden sphere.
Why is the metal glowing so brightly?
That's the intense heat of welding, melting the metals together for a strong bond.
How does this mechanical illustration cut a stack of colored papers into rectangular blocks?
This 3D animation shows an industrial cutting machine, pressing and smoothly slicing through paper stacks to divide them into sections.
How does a factory fill chocolate bar molds neatly?
This automated machine injects liquid chocolate into the molds in precise amounts simultaneously through several small nozzles.
What is the purpose of the thick brown paper coming out of this machine?
The paper is crumpled by the machine to serve as a protective cushion inside the box, keeping items safe from impact during shipping.
How do you peel thousands of boiled quail eggs quickly?
The quail eggs are fed into a mechanical machine that automatically rolls and strips away the shells with the help of running water.
How is spiral wire fencing made manually?
By turning the handle of this yellow tool, the steel wire is bent into perfect spirals that are then woven together into a boundary fence.
What is that heavy attachment used for?
It's a hydraulic breaker used to smash through tough concrete and rocks.
What is that large machine doing on the wet concrete?
It is leveling and smoothing out the freshly poured concrete floor.
What tool can cut through thick and hard tree branches?
This is a high-powered electric pruning shear designed specifically to cut thick branches quickly and efficiently.
How does a plain fabric get such a beautiful leaf-shaped lace border?
This process uses a specialized overlock machine that knits the thread into decorative lace patterns along the fabric edge.
What component drives this industrial conveyor system?
This system is powered by a blue electric motor connected via a V-belt to rotate the heavy-duty steel conveyor chain.
How do you clean up mud and wild plants in a shallow waterway?
An excavator is used to dredge the mud and clear out water hyacinths to keep the water flowing smoothly.
How are silicone finger toothbrushes for babies or pets made?
Pink liquid silicone material is placed into a hot compression molding press to form flexible, ready-to-use finger brushes.